Bringing us an exclusive interview with Attorney General Eric Holder. And Pierre, the Attorney General really sounding the alarm about how this conflict between Israel and Hamas and across the Mideast could really intensify the terror threat here at home.
Really is, George. As the conflict intensifies between Israel and Hamas, Holder said he'll be on the lookout for any hint of violence here at home. He said that potential and what is happening in Syria makes for an especially dangerous moment.
We met the Attorney General in London after a series of urgent meetings with European justice ministers about the threat from Syria.
Do they share your sense of urgency about Syria?
There's a great concern about this Syrian foreign fighters problem. We estimate there are about 7,000 of them right now in Syria, coming from Europe, coming from the United States, and great concern about the impact they're having not only there, but the potential impact they could have back in their home countries.
Congressman Rogers of the House Intelligence Committee made a comment recently that he had not seen a situation where there were so many threat streams, so active at one moment, perhaps since 9/11.
No, I think we are at a dangerous time.
Moments later, when we sat down, Holder laid out his concerns in stark, disturbing detail.
You sounded the alarm this week about Americans and Europeans going to Syria. Is this a clear and present danger?
I think it is. In some ways, it's more frightening than anything I think I've seen as Attorney General. 9/11 was something that kind of came out of the blue. This is a situation that we can see developing, and the potential that I see coming out, the negative potential I see coming out of the facts in Syria and Iraq now are quite concerning.
Among the concerns, intelligence that bomb makers from Yemen, those responsible for the 2009 underwear bomb plot, are now in Syria joining forces with the thousands of foreign fighters there.
Is that a particularly nasty mix?
That's a deadly combination, where you have people who have the technical know-how along with the people who have this kind of fervor to give their lives in support of a cause that is directed at the United States and directed out at its allies. And it's something that gives us really extreme concern.
Sources tell ABC News U.S. intelligence suspects Yemeni bomb makers in Syria have designed an explosive device small enough to fit in a laptop computer. It's why the U.S. asked overseas airports to step up security, including requiring some passengers to turn on a laptop or other electronic devices.
We are always constantly monitoring what's going on out there, what known bomb makers are doing, the new techniques that they are trying to employ.
Suffice to say, these security upgrades we're seeing didn't just come out of the blue.
No, these are not things that we just decided it was July, so let's do something new. This is not a test. This is we're doing something in reaction to things that we have detected.
Americans who've gone into Syria and made their way home. Can you give us a sense of how many people that we're talking about that are under various levels of surveillance inside the United States?
Well, I'd say that we have dozens of investigations that are underway. The FBI is on top of these.
And out of Syria, another challenge: ISIS, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. They've taken over huge chunks of Iraq, stealing weapons and plundering millions of dollars. They've even allegedly confiscated low-grade radioactive material that could be used for a dirty bomb.
How concerned should Americans at home be about ISIS?
Well, I think at this point, ISIS is a body that is concerned about doing things only in Iraq and in Syria. If they are able to consolidate their gains in that area, I think it's just a matter of time before they start looking outward and start looking at the West and at the United States in particular. So this is something that we have to get on top of and get on top of now.
Is there a sense that there's a resurgence going on now with al-Qaeda?
Well, al-Qaeda core has certainly been diminished, but as we have been saying for some time, other factions of al-Qaeda have become stronger, and now even groups that were once part of al-Qaeda and have now split from them have become strong.
The administration recently scored a victory in the war on terror with the capture of Ahmed Abu Khatallah, one of the alleged planners of the assault on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi that killed U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans. But even that has not been without controversy.
Critics have said it took too long to get him. He was having lunch in public, being interviewed by journalists. What say you to that?
Well, I think, that is really an argument I simply don't understand. It's one thing to talk to a reporter and have your face not even shown on camera while you're doing this. A whole other thing to come to the custody of the FBI, the United States military. I don't think that he would have had a cup of coffee with a couple of FBI agents or members of our military.
He's now being held in the U.S. under tight security, facing trial in federal court in Washington.
Well, a number of Republicans on the Hill said he should still be in interrogation on a ship somewhere, military ship. Intelligence should be the priority, and that he should be headed to a military court, not civilian court.
There is not a tension between the way in which we have done this and getting intelligence that can be useful, and then ultimately convicting this person. I think it's time for us to get beyond this point. Now it has become something that I think is purely political and is totally inconsistent with the facts.
The job of national security can be relentless. Not only does Holder have to worry about overseas threats, he also has to worry about homegrown radicals, like the two men who allegedly attacked the Boston Marathon last year.
Is that threat any less serious?
These lone wolves, these homegrown violent extremists are people who keep me up at night as well, trying to monitor them, trying to anticipate what it is that they are going to do. And, you know, the experience that we had in Boston is instructive. It only takes one or two people to really do something horrific.
And Pierre, the Attorney General, you also talked to him about homegrown terrorists who are motivated more by domestic concerns.
Yes, we recently had the case where someone had an assault on a courthouse in Georgia. Also, 2 officers killed near Las Vegas. He said that that is coming back as well, that there may be a resurgence. He said there are a lot of sleepless nights these days.
Okay, Pierre Thomas, thanks very much.